I want to do a real quick presentation on what I call the privilege of not moving up. Most people feel like it's a failure if their kid has not moved up, but what I'm trying to do is change the way you think about not moving up in levels as a privilege, because in many ways it is a privilege. My story was I was 7 years old and I was doing really well in first grade, and my mom felt I wasn't being challenged in my first grade class. So she told the private school where we were paying money that she was going to take me out of that school. And so they didn't want us to leave the school and leave that income, get rid of that income. So they skipped me from first grade to third grade. And I was already one of the youngest in first grade. So now I was super young in third grade when we got moved up a grade. And I missed learning to write in cursive, which made me anxious. And I was always the youngest and the smallest going up through every single age. And so it was a little bit difficult because I didn't quite fit in with the rest of the kids. So, my mom thought that was a great privilege to be able to skip a grade and how smart my daughter was, but there were challenges associated with it. So in the sport of gymnastics, well, we've seen it over and over and over again. So a level 10, we had a really, really talented one. She got a scholarship to a really top college school. She was good enough to move up, and we didn't. We said she's not quite ready mentally, emotionally, and she said later on after she had gotten that college scholarship, yeah, I probably would have quit if I got moved up too early. So she had an amazingly successful career in JO. Level 10, she made it to nationals and did really, really well. But this level 7, we felt even as coaches a little bit as a failure because she was talented enough to have moved up, and she wasn't quite ready mentally, emotionally, and flipping vault, it gets dangerous. So we kept her back, and it was the right decision. And we've had numerous examples of the opposite. So we had a level 3, started young, didn't win that much. She could have done the next level of skills, so we moved her up. We thought, okay, she can do them. And then she had decreased confidence. She was in the lower half of the next 4 levels, and she ended up quitting at age 12. We're never quite sure if that was the decision helped her make to quit was made because of that negative experience, but we want to make sure that all throughout their career that they're actually loving what they do, they feel good about what they do. And if you are in the lower level, it doesn't mean you're not still improving. Like I said, a level 3 handstand is the same as an elite handstand if you do it like an elite. It's very difficult. It's tremendously difficult. So you can't be stopped from progressing at level 3 until you have that elite level handstand. So always think of it in that way. A cast in level 3 could go all the way to handstand. So you're not being held back ever to work your cast in level 3. It'll just follow you for level 4, 5, 6, and beyond. So don't ever think of it as being held back because the basics perfected equal really high level optional skills. So moving up has a moment of joy and then a year of misery. So what often happens is, yay, you moved up. You say, I did it. I'm able to go to the next level. And often they have a less enjoyable experience the rest of the year. So we had a level A who moved up. They had a dangerous flip vault every single meet with fear and anxiety for flipping the vault. Am I going to make it through the vault? She got sick a lot. So there's a lot of issues. We're like, oh, that kid should not have moved up to level 8 too early. We had a level 5 who was moved up and then started getting a backward tumbling fear. There was pressure to get these harder skills. She wasn't ready mentally and emotionally, so started getting a lot of the backward tumbling fears. And you all know about mental blocks. There's nothing more devastating than mental blocks. And then we had a level 9 who had to stop in the middle of the season because of anxiety. She was young. It was a little too difficult, scary to release move to the low bar, and she had to stop mid-season. Very talented gymnast too. And then we had a level 4 who thought she sucked because she was never in the top 3 places. You see that follow her on through the years, and it's something you never want to see. So when I say, yay, you got moved up, sometimes it's not a yay because the rest of the year isn't that enjoyable. Then on the other side, not moving up is usually something the kids are completely fine with if their parents are. So we would like to see you put it in the right frame of mind and help them to see the things that allow them to be at the top of their level. Because when you do that, it allows them that feeling of enjoying practice, feeling accomplished more often, able to do skills that other kids aren't able to do and move on to the next thing ahead of the other kids. It gives them that feeling of success every single day in workout. It also allows them to perfect their basics, which if they're super strong, like I said about that cast handstand, it gets them to subsequent levels a lot easier and quicker. So perfecting of basics gives you that foundation and building blocks so that the kids are able to move on. And then number 3, it gives them that privilege. It is a privilege of feeling successful and feeling good about themselves. I can't tell you how invaluable that feeling is as they're growing up through their childhood to gain. So when you're trying to push your kid to move to the next level and they're not quite ready and the coaches don't think they're quite ready, it really isn't good for your child. I know you think you're advocating for them, but it isn't something that will end up good in the long run. Building that confidence and inner cockiness that they have when they're really good at something, that is an invaluable thing for them to gain. So just hope that helps you in reframing the idea about moving up levels and what that means for your kid, and hope that helped. Give me an email, jimcats@jimcats.com, anytime you'd like any more help.